sit down, you're getting me to go live.
I've been live for 63 years.
You're live.
We're live. Hard to tell, ain't it?
I didn't know that. How'd you figure that out?
Some of us is liver than others.
I know that. I'm very much alive. I woke up on top of the ground this morning. Folks, we want to welcome you to the Wednesday night edition of the Wild Bob and Ronnie Show, brought to you on UG TV 1450 WLAF Channel 12. And we're here live. You know, you don't have to no guessing about it. We're live. We're sitting on dead ready.
Live and dead ready.
Sitting on dead ready. I mean, how can you be
What's
live?
going on, Bobby T?
Well, I don't know. You know, I've come across some interesting facts.
What have you come across?
Well, I found out that in the state of Vermont, 269 people signed up for Obamacare.
I found out something too. Go ahead.
281 people signed up to hunt elk.
Yeah, and 312 people reported last year spotting Bigfoot.
That was more than what signed up for Obamacare. But do you realize with 269 signing up for Obamacare and 281 signing up to hunt elk, that there are 12 uninsured hunters running around up there in Vermont?
Elk hunters.
Yeah, there's 12 uninsured.
I heard on the radio today about some guy went deer hunting and he stood his gun up against a tree.
That's the one that the beaver got.
And the beaver got the gun, so y'all might want to be watching out for an armed beaver.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things nowadays that we learn. I don't know how important they are, you know, because we're constantly bombarded with facts and figures and statistics and ratios and everything else, you know. It's every time you turn around, you know, and you're going down the turnpike or going down the pike, mentally calculating your chances of making it back home, you know, which on Jacksboro Pike, that's not very good, you know. But, you know, I found out that, and this was kind of a little bit amazing to me, that 25% of the women in this country are receiving some type of mental therapy.
29%?
Yeah.
That's a bunch of women.
Well, I don't know about that, 25% being a bunch of women. I'm worried about that 75% that's running around and ain't getting no treatment.
That's Bob. B-O-B. BR549.
And you're right, there have been more sightings of Bigfoot than people that signed up for Obamacare.
What are you doing with that knife out?
What am I doing? I was to clean my fingernail.
Okay, I thought maybe we were going to come to blows.
This is also my butter slicing knife and my toenail
I'll
cleaning
let
knife.
you in on a little secret.
Huh?
I ain't afraid of that knife.
Well, you got a big one?
I got one here. When I cut you that, buddy, you've been cut. You see
You
that?
know what this is? Appalachian Trail. That's the name of this mag.
This is an old timer of some sort, and just look there, it's gapped up and broke.
What is it, an old timer?
You reckon?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
like us.
I sold Richard a real nice little old timer. I had a choice whether I kept this one or kept the old timer. And so Richard wanted the old timer, so I sold it to him.
I got a whole pile of knives,
I
but
think I got a bushel basket full.
They were a little one, I carry a little one, it ain't hardly as...
Right.
I lost the best knife I ever had. That old stainless steel one blade, easy open, lock back knives. I know where it's at. I lost it in a ditch. I know it's in a ditch, but I ain't gonna dig the ditch back out and start on one end and go to the other left right now.
It's like that hearing aid.
It's been gone 20 years. By the way, where's my $30?
Okay, well, don't worry, you will get it eventually.
Well, I know, but I may not.
When I don't know.
That ain't the deal we had.
I know that, but you have to understand, this is the Obama winter.
It may be, but have you ever looked for it?
No, I haven't.
Well, pay up or hush one. I mean,
I'm gonna look for it. I think it fell in a box.
must have.
We got gone, no, that ain't what fell in the box. That was something else when Elizabeth cleaned up. That's when I lost that. That fell in the box. I think Kramer wiped it off the table or something when he got my, by the way, I need to call Kramer. He brought my computer back.
Well, you ain't brought my hearing aid back.
Well, maybe we can work out a deal there or something.
I'll take the computer, I guess. I'd settle for a good $20 gold piece.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
$10
Well,
discount.
$20 gold piece would be microscopic.
No.
I've had some of them $20
I want
gold
one of them
pieces.
double eagles.
The last one I sold it for $480, and that's been several years
Yeah, I
ago.
want one of them old double eagles, about 1878.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah.
And I sold it, I tell you when I sold it was in
1890.
1985.
I figured in 1890, you're just a little boy.
1985, I sold that double eagle $20 gold piece. Now, I've got a few in my safe deposit box.
You got the key to it with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I found
which
it.
bank do I go to?
Huh?
Which bank do I go to? Wonder if Raymond still got that big old
What?
Centennial silver dollar he had. Remember that thing?
Who?
Raymond Ray used to work
Oh,
for you down there.
yeah.
Had a ponytail.
Right. Yeah, he still got it, I guess.
That was about the size of a hubcap.
Right.
Volkswagen hubcap.
Right, yeah.
It was. It was about as big as a Volkswagen hubcap.
Yeah, just about, yeah. Big old thing. I remember it, yeah. I'll have to ask him about that.
He's worth more then than he did now, I guess.
Right. Y'all have to ask him about that. Well, what about, is there anything going on the local scene that we need to
Yes,
comment?
there is. There's an outfit down here that's pouring concrete every day, and it's good stuff.
Setting up hard, isn't it?
Yeah. It sets up in this weather and warm weather. Dixie Concrete, they've got them there retaining blocks or boat anchors or whatever you want to use them for, and they've got them complete septic systems. And
Right.
they've got rebar, and they've got concrete, and you can polish it up. You can make countertops out of it.
You can do that, and do you realize if they had concrete like that back when Fred Astaire was a dancing, how he could have twirled Ginger Rogers around on that slick concrete?
Have you ever realized that everything Fred Astaire done, poor old Ginger had to do it backwards and heels?
Right, said that right.
562-5656 if you want to call Dixie and see how they're doing.
Right.
That's about all I know of going on. How about you?
Well, I don't know, if you go down Sawmill Holler, that's right in the lane.
Middle of the road.
Right down there, the road will split. Well,
Yeah.
before you get that split in the road, I deliver some furniture on the left. But if you-
562.
But if you go on down the road, you'll run into Von Digger Wilson's propane store.
5444.
That's all your propane needs, and he just getting it up one side and down the other when I
I'd
went by
say he
that
is
day.
busy.
Yeah.
He's as busy as a one-legged man on
I
a
bet
kitchen
you,
contest.
his wife don't get a whole lot of static out of him when he gets home.
No, he's probably sitting around shivering, trying to get warmed up from all that working outside. He needs to heat that parking lot down there, don't he?
Yeah, he does. You know, I bet if you put him a valve on them big tanks, we could heat it up right quick.
Yeah, well, him there, perpetual flame.
Yeah, just shoot him right out. Talking about perpetual flames, you know,
I
they
don't
have
know
one
about-
going on John F. Kennedy's grave, okay?
I remember there was a
And,
kid
you know-
spilled something on it and put it out one time. They had to relight it.
Right, and you know, what was it, November the, what was it, 13th, 14th when he got shot?
No,
What?
22nd,
22nd.
Friday.
Huh?
This year would be Friday. I don't know what it was in '63, but I was there.
All right. Well, you know, they asked a lot of people to remember what they were doing when he got shot. Do you remember what you were doing?
Yes, sir. I was sitting in high school civics. Coach Paul Geary was the teacher. We're sitting there, and John Taylor, the principal, come running in, and he said, "Did you hear? Did you hear?" And Coach said, "Did we hear what?" He said, "Roosevelt's been shot."
Roosevelt.
Yeah, now he didn't say Roosevelt. You know, he backtracked to the way it was when he was a kid because he was excited. He said, "Roosevelt's been shot." And Geary said, "Who?" He said, Kennedy. That's exactly what I was doing. November 22nd,
Right.
1963.
I was in.
That would have been about 2
I
o'clock.
was in Old Henry Lanes in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I was bowling with Woody Durham, who is now the voice of the Tar Heel Sports Network. He was a television announcer at WFMY Channel 2 at the time, and we were bowling, and we walked up to the counter. I had a little old, probably a 14 to 15 inch
Black and white?
black and white television sitting on the counter there, and we were watching the presidential parade, and I actually saw it when he got shot. And of course you couldn't tell all that much other than all the commotion and everything. But I remember it very, very well. And an interesting coincidence is that in 1965 or 1966, I hired a young man to work in my office with
Not
me.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
No, by the name of Tom Vidertek. Well, Tom had been a pro baseball catcher out in the Texas area, and he had aged out. He wasn't good enough to go on up, so he took a job as a bodyguard for Jack Ruby. And he was Jack Ruby's personal bodyguard when Ruby went over to the jail and shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
What was Jack Ruby doing with the bodyguard?
Well, he owned a bunch of strip clubs, and he had a lot of enemies, you know. And
You'll get some of
probably
them sometimes.
probably-
We need some of them there bodyguards.
probably was paranoid too, you
Yeah.
know. But he said that Jack Ruby had pictures of John F. Kennedy all around his office in one of the strip clubs, and that John F. Kennedy was his hero, and that it just devastated him when Kennedy got shot, and he plotted. He was known around the police department as always going over and bonding these girls out that were arrested for doing something they wasn't supposed to do at these clubs.
Probably like picking up cans when it wasn't, you know,
Probably not.
beside the interstate. You ain't allowed,
Cans up.
yeah, you ain't allowed to walk beside the interstate.
But he was well known around the Dallas Police Department, and he walked in there with no trouble, and I was watching on
Yeah, I saw
television
that
when
too.
he walked right up there and shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I heard an interesting theory the other day. That,
Conspiracy theory?
No, that the socialists and the communists here in this country, when John F. Kennedy got shot, that they could not believe that a communist had done that. Have you heard that theory?
No, I already knew that.
Yeah, okay. They just could not believe that a communist could have done that, and they could not blame socialism and communism for the death of John F. Kennedy. So they had to start running America down, that it was America's fault, that we're the ones that were at fault because John F. Kennedy got killed. We're the ones at fault because there's so many black people in jail. We're the ones that is fault because so many black people are killing other black people. We're at fault. The American system, our way of life, is completely wrong, is the way they look at it.
I'm tired of hearing these celebrities, somebody that, because they can make a movie, thinks they know the answer to everything. I'm tired of Oprah Winfrey and getting up there and complaining about what an unjust world it is when she's a billionaire. Somebody around here needs to explain to her that life ain't too unfair if you can start out as just a poor old hillbilly girl and end up a billionaire. I mean,
Right.
there's more
Who you
opportunity.
talking about, Dolly?
No, I'm talking about Oprah,
Oh, yeah.
Harpo.
Right, well, you take, Michelle, when she made the remark that she was never proud of this country, was making $200,000 a year on the job that she held.
Yeah, and it was paid to the public, wasn't it?
Right.
It's a public job. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
she
a
did pay the
government-
public money, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I got to think about something else. People talking about health care. I have never had insurance paid for by anybody except me all my life.
Right,
And I got to think about it. I have been cheated with every dollar I spent for this reason. Everybody else was either getting it free, and I'd have to pay for that, or they were getting it from their employer, and I was contributing 2 spots on that. In this way, the employer got a tax write-off for paying the insurance, which is fine. If you're going to have taxes, it ain't nothing but fair. And the guy or the person that got the insurance didn't have to pay tax on that insurance, which was a benefit to him. So I have to pay for my insurance with after-tax money. They're getting me twice.
right.
I always have.
Well, actually,
And I wasn't complaining.
well, I know that actually, if your insurance ran enough, based on the comparison to your salary, you could take some of it off your taxes as an individual. I forget what the ratio was.
And that's if you were paying your own insurance.
If you were paying your own.
Yeah, I know, but they changed. It used to you could deduct a whole lot more. It got to the point where you couldn't deduct anything.
Oh, I know, they kept going up
Yeah.
on what you could do.
But
deduct,
but
you
the businesses that provided insurance counted it off as a business
Right.
expense and got a tax
Right.
benefit out of that.
Right.
The people that got it got a benefit. It's just going out there and handing them $10,000 a year to buy insurance,
Right.
but they didn't have to pay taxes on it.
Right.
So they got 2 breaks on it.
Right.
And I had to pay income tax on my money before I ever went and paid for the insurance.
Right, well, that's bad, you know, but one of the things that really ruined insurance was somebody else paying
Yes,
for
sir.
their insurance.
Well, what really ruined it?
If you pay for your own, you're very, very careful about how much the policy costs, and you're also very, very careful not to abuse that policy, or they will cancel you or go up on your rate.
Yeah, and insurance is the very reason that medical expenses are so high, because nobody tries to save any money if it don't cost them
No,
nothing.
no, they just let it rise on and up, just like having my eye fixed. you
Yeah,
know.
me too.
I appreciate living in a country where I can go and have my eyes worked on whether they need it or not. And the, and the insurance company will pay for it.
Yeah,
But, you know, I mean, quite frankly, it's cost the insurance company like $3,000 or $4,000 to perform that surgery on that eye.
mhm.
And now they want to do the other one, but I can't see as good out of the one they worked on as I can the one they hadn't worked on, so I'm not gonna have that other one done.
Well, I had 2 done, and I was blind before I had it done, and I'm tickled to death with it, and I had my own insurance. And I have a $5,000 deductible,
Right.
because that's been to my benefit to do it that way, and I paid $5,000 out of pocket.
Right.
And then they kicked in about $1,800, so altogether it's about $6,800.
Right.
Now, but what amazed me and what got me, I didn't know, I'd never used insurance, but they give me these here, they didn't give it to me, they give me a prescription for these 2 little bottles of stuff
Right,
to put in your eyes.
right.
And I went down there and they said, "Have you got insurance?" And I said, "Yeah, but it don't, I ain't done my deductible." I didn't know the difference. I thought they didn't pay nothing when you paid that first $5,000. So I said no, and they sold me these 2 bottles, and I figured it up. It was $186,000 a gallon. But I didn't get a gallon.
Right.
I just got just about that much,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
in a little bitty bottle. And it was over $200
Okay.
for them 2 bottles. See, one of them was 110, the other was 130.
Right.
So that's $240 for them 2 little bottles. Well, I went down there And I got that first eye done, and I'd already started using my insurance. So when I went back and got some drops again, and they asked me if I had insurance. I said, well, yeah, here. So I figured I'd go ahead and start adding it on there, you know. And now the insurance had already negotiated a deal with Walgreens to give a discount, and I paid $60 total for them 2 bottles, which was still pretty high, but was almost $200 less. Now, the insurance company was buying that same thing $200 cheaper, and I'm there paying cash, and they don't even appreciate cash.
Well, let me tell you something else that's gonna bust your bubbles.
See, the insurance company wasn't paying nothing. They just had to negotiate better price.
Now, let me tell you, I'm gonna bust your bubble.
Okay, bust
I got
out.
a list of generic prices for that same medicine.
Yeah.
What cost me $90 a bottle, you can buy the generic brand for $7.50.
Well, they didn't offer me no generics. I just took
They
this
didn't
thing.
offer it to me either. I found out this after I had purchased. I got the list of what generics would cost after I purchased one bottle, $90 a bottle, and I forget what the other one was, you know. And I had insurance, you know. But you could buy a generic brand as opposed to $90. You get same size bottle, $7.50.
Well, I was taking a over-the-counter heartburn medicine. It was costing me $30 a bottle, and I got a prescription for it and used my insurance. Of course, the insurance didn't pay anything, but they had a better deal worked out. I paid $7 for it.
Right.
For the prescription version, as opposed to the over-the-counter, I saved $23 on a bottle of them pills.
Right.
Same blame pill.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy world.
And I know that. I mean, I was buying. I wasn't buying the name brand over the counter. The name brand is about $40-something for a
Right.
bottle. I was buying a generic over the counter and paying $23 more a bottle for it. I don't know. We're in the wrong drug business, you know.
Right, you know, actually, I guess the drugstores will make more money in the drug business than the drug dealers.
Yeah, cocaine dealer ain't got a chance compared to them rascals. TV.
Hey!
How many enemies would you guess I had in Calvin County?
I'd say you got very few, ma'am. You're just too likable to have any enemies.
Well, you can go to the dollar store and buy the same eye drops, unless it's the little bitty bottles for practically nothing for what these drugstores sell.
You can't buy them eye drops me and Bob talking about at the dollar store.
Well, you can buy something that's almost as good.
Well, they're not the same thing. You've got a anti-rejection eye drop that you take whenever you have an implant.
Oh yeah, implant.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wasn't talking about implants. I was just talking about if you get something in your eye.
No. I know what you're talking about there. It's a whole lot cheaper.
Stars off.
Yeah. But
They
then,
give you some, but if you run out, you can go to the dollar store and buy about the same
well,
thing.
it's like glasses. I got a prescription for glasses. I went back for my 1-year checkup, and they said I wasn't blind yet. And they do this thing, and they write you a prescription for your glasses. And I asked the guy. I said, what's the advantage for me getting these things? He said, well, you see a little bit better way off, and with the bifocals you can read. But I don't want to wear them things all the time.
Well,
And
I got some dirt in my eyes, and
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was glass awful. I put my sunglasses on, and they
Yeah.
were cracked,
yeah,
and they didn't find any glass in there. They found a lot of dirt, and I put Sprite in them. She said, don't ever put any carbonated stuff, but that carbonated brought that stuff out of my eyes.
well, I'll tell you.
Or either had them cut on
I got that prescription for glasses just as part of the checkup. I could have got a pair of new glasses down there, bifocals and all, for about $100. But I also go over to Save-A-Lot and get a pair that works just fine for $1.
Well, I found that out too, but now they're 5 and 6.
No, not if you go to Save-A-Lot.
Well, I know it saves a lot, but if you go to Family Dollar or General Dollar, then you get the prettier frames.
Yeah, you can
They
go.
got the reds and the brown ones and everything.
You can go get some of them there Foster Grants, and they made a whole lot better now. They are, and they look good, and the glasses should be smoother and more true.
Well, I break them anyway.
And they're about $20.
I give $15
Yeah.
for something I can buy for 6.
Well, if I lose $1 pair of glasses, I don't grieve over near as much as I do losing one of them pair of Foster Grants. You what?
Bifocals, I cannot walk in bifocals.
I don't have people wear them. I fall down them things.
I can't see.
Sam helps me down there some. He's got some that's, I reckon they're gradual, and I think there's 3 layers of them. I know there's at least 2, and there ain't no line in them.
Yeah, I can wear these.
Nah, I tell you what, I had a pair of them dollar glasses that looked almost like Sam's, and he had them laying there on the
You
table.
get them at the dollar store with diamonds and everything.
Well, I picked Sam's glasses up and put them on there to look at the computer, and I thought I was having a stroke. So help me, what's the matter with me here? It just-
I couldn't see what I was.
I actually thought I was something happening to me. I thought, boy, am I having a stroke?
Glasses will drive you crazy in winter time or in summertime if you sweat.
Yeah, no, I know. I try not to sweat, and I try not to wear glasses anymore. I was up to wearing 2 pairs, and when it got to the point where I was going to have to wear 3, I went and got my eyes fixed.
So as pretty as you are, you don't need to put no.
Oh no, I need everybody to see me though. I need to wear a mask is what I need.
Give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, there's a fella
Well,
asked.
you know, they've got those binoculars that you wear
Yeah.
like glasses. That's
I
what you
can't
need.
look through binoculars. They do bust my eyeballs.
There's a fella asked me yesterday if I'd been shot yet. So, I was thinking that I need to wear dark glasses, great big ones, them Elton John kind.
Have you been snake bit?
No, I ain't been snake bit. I hope I don't get.
Don't try to catch anybody. Crazy for anybody.
I tell you what, I sold a fella a car. I sold a fella a car that sold me a car. I never had drove it. I bought it for spare, and it sat out there in my yard for a year, I guess. And he come out and got it, and he put a new battery in it, and he got it all running good. Started right up. He took the old battery and opened the trunk and put it in there, and I looked in there and said, "Well, look at that." And, "Yeah, what is it?" And I fished it out. It was a black snake skin. It was right at 4 feet long.
Yeah, well, when they stretch it up, it'll be about 8 foot.
Well, I said, he said, "That's whew." I said, "Well, don't worry." I said, "He shed that last spring. He's probably grown a foot this summer. I'd say he's asleep up there under the seat somewhere, trying not to wake him up on the way home." I'd say he felt stuff crawling all the way home, though.
I'm afraid of a green snake, much less a poison snake.
Well, now this one wasn't poison, but I don't want no 5-foot black snake rolling around in the car with me.
He wouldn't bother me one bit. I wouldn't even worry
He
about it.
wouldn't bother me either. I'd get out there and let him have it.
Not me, I wouldn't.
You better be careful.
Thank you, ma'am.
See,
See you.
you know black snake can bite you.
Yeah.
He's not poisonous, but that mouth of his has got so many germs and everything, he will infect you bad.
I know a guy was in the barn and one fell down his back, down in his shirt. It was not a pretty sight, they say. I wasn't there, but the story went to it just wasn't pretty when it was all over.
Oh, you think he needs to call Big Al?
Yeah, he ought to have Big Al there. He should have, you know, on standby.
Oh, you know,
He should have called Vital Care just in case.
he should have, yeah, exactly. You know, Big Al, had been saved by McDonald's.
McDonald's saved him, they certainly did.
Yeah,
You know, you can move McDonald's around and it changes the flow of water.
sure they can.
Yeah. I mean, he had a terrible flooding problem where the city was going to have to take that over to fix the problem.
Right, that's
But-
what the city's going to have to buy it and
Yeah,
condemn it, won't
yeah,
it?
going to have to condemn it and take it over and get that mess cleaned up so so the water wouldn't disturb anybody. But then McDonald's moved to the other end of town and his water problem was suddenly solved.
Right.
Now, Vital Care, 562-9370.
That's exactly right, and you do know about that, Mater juice,
Yeah.
sprouting them spores, don't you?
Yeah, they takes a whole new life of its own and might take yours too.
Just do that, it's best to cut the light on before you drink out of a
It
Mater
ain't
can.
many people that will go as far as Bob to check the authenticity of the claims of our sponsors. But Bob took the big gulp, sacrificed his health just to make sure that Vital Care.
You have to try, you know, also, checked out BC
I
Bond.
know that. You got out there and got in a dispute with one of the relatives of one of the politicians that we was
Right.
having a little discussion with,
Right.
and even got to check to see how they done the plumbing down at the courthouse.
Trailed me right down the road on that Sunday morning, and, I mean, you know, the whole
That's
community,
Vital Care right there.
but the whole community was safer after that.
Yeah, just like when Martha Stewart was in the big house, we all slept better.
You said that right, and, people could, sleep with their doors unlocked.
Yeah.
That arrested me.
Yeah, and then we had to start locking the doors again when you and Margie got out.
Yeah, I know, we got big criminals, you know, I just think, you know, Bernie Madoff,
Yeah.
that's his name, you know, he embezzled billions of dollars from a few thousand people.
Yeah.
Do you realize that Obama has embezzled trillions of dollars from 200 to 300?
And then had their insurance cut off.
And he's embezzled it from people that ain't even been born yet.
Yeah,
And he's embezzled money from my
and they
great-grandchildren.
made him king.
And my great-grandchildren, they ain't even been born yet.
Yeah, I know. You ready to get busy? Oh, Lord.
Not up to me.
Now, you know, they always said if you steal a little, they put you in jail. If you steal a lot, they make you king.
Right, make you president.
That's the way it worked out this
Right,
time.
yeah.
Of course, they made him president first, looks like.
What about money?
Hey, good evening, folks.
Hey!
Well, hello.
Hey, I got kind of an idea. You fellas got a lot of pull with the city.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
We even got a Christmas light.
Oh, boy. Since they've been working on the road right there at Poor Boys,
Yeah,
they got the traffic light turned on.
yeah.
And I've been running through there 2 or 3 times every day at night and whatever, and I ain't got caught in no traffic jam.
Yeah.
Do you reckon with your all's pull that we could get some sort of a resolution if they just leave that traffic light off?
I'd like to get them to take them barrels out of the road for sure.
Well, we could get the barrel stuff down, but if they leave that traffic light turned on caution, we could save. Look at the energy. Everybody talks about green. When you stop, you know, in the run of the day, I'd say you probably stop 2,000 or 3,000 vehicles right there that have to come to a dead stop and pull back out. And it seems to work so great.
You reckon we can take that traffic light down there at the schoolhouse and let them poor old cops stay in the warm this winter?
Yeah, man, might do that. But,
Never heard that happening to you.
Yeah.
but there's no traffic jams there. Normally when I'm coming in of the night, I get caught in the traffic jam there every time coming in of the night.
Yeah.
And I've been through there while they're working on this thing, and the traffic is still flowing. And once the barrels is down, it looks to me like, well, anyhow,
Well, I'll tell you something.
yeah, go ahead.
Since they put turning lanes in there and down there at Hunter's Branch, you can get out of there without getting run over. Back when there wasn't no turning lane down 100 Branch, it was a little old 2-lane road down through there. Of course, still 2-lane, but it's actually wide enough you can drive on it now. They needed the traffic light there a lot worse 3 years ago, or well, back before they built the turning lane than they do now. You know, one time, I went up there to get out on the road because it was easier to get out there at Highland Park than it was down 100 Branch. But
That was when, before you had turn lane.
yeah, before you had turn lane, and then you got turn lanes in both places. That traffic light is not near as necessary as it was before, but them damn barrels ain't needed at all.
No, you could, with road stripes, whatever, and I'm serious, that traffic light, anybody that's running through there can tell that there's no traffic jam. And if I'm not mistaken, somewhere along the line, I don't know where I heard it at, but you know, they've always got their perspective out there in the future.
Right.
And my understanding was that Hunter's Branch is the next one that will get a traffic light if they get one.
Well, now,
It would be the gosh awfulest mistake that they ever was to put a traffic light up at Hunter's Branch.
that one they've got up there, one that they've got flashing now, you couldn't get the 3 cars coming down the hill when it was working.
That's correct.
The 4th car had to run the caution out of the
Traffic's
way.
moving a lot smoother now
Yeah, it is.
without any stoplights.
Yeah, it really is, because before you couldn't get on the road anyway. You had to wait through, if you didn't hit it just right, you'd wait through almost 2 changes, because if you didn't run it, 3 cars was all, because the first one he wasn't there ready to go. He wasn't waiting on the light to
He
change.
was on his cell phone.
Well, probably. But 3 cars, I've drove it so many times, I know 3 cars could get out of there without running.
That third one was
Yeah.
running the caution light.
Without the 4th one actually finishing up under red. You couldn't do it. And now, the biggest obstacle is if you're gonna go south, you gotta come down there on the wrong side of the road and then make a U-turn practically to get across the road, because they got them blame barrels in the road.
Right.
But, you know, that center lane, coming, if you're going east right there, if they would designate that center lane, the one, if you're going, let's say you're coming out Poor Boys and you're gonna go west or go south,
Yep,
if they designate that center lane as a turn lane strictly for that purpose,
yep.
and let your other traffic that are going to go to West End go on back and then turn into the stacked up lane.
It'd be hard to explain that to them people, though, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that are hard to explain.
I mean, that would be the sensible way to do it, but
Yeah, who's going to do anything sensible? But now at Hunter's Branch, if they throw a traffic light in at Hunter's Branch, you know what that's going to do to that traffic coming down that hill of loaded trucks and whatever?
it's gonna pile them up there for sure.
All right, then the ones that are going south or what we call west, they're going to have to pull out from a dead stop and start climbing that hill.
Yep.
And if they do, don't talk to me about green and EPA and all this bunch of crap or whatever. Anyhow, gentlemen, on Obamacare, that was passed Congress, the law of the land. It went through the Supreme Court, whatever else. I'd like for somebody to explain to me how the president can step in on the law of the land and exempt anyone that he so chooses from a law.
Well, you know, they said that he was like a god. Some of them commutators said that back in the beginning, and it was actually a step down for him to take the office. So he has that authority, I'm sure.
Well, I wish somebody who is learned or whatever in the law, whatever, can tell me how the president can do these things just on and on. I heard just the last thing I heard there is that they exempted the unions or something like that from this thing.
Yeah, they just exempt whoever they want to, except us poor people been carrying the load all the time.
Okay, now every time they exempt, like a big group like the unions, that puts more load back on the individuals that are stuck in this thing that are not going to be exempted. And if we just, I don't hear anybody saying too much about it, but it seems to me like this thing is destined to go down. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't see
on the government website. I don't know how it is now, but when they started it, 'cause I tried it to see, they won't tell you what the plan is or how much it costs or anything till you give them all your information. Well, I didn't give them my information. I didn't sign up either.
Well, gentlemen, there's a whole lot going on. Let me give you a piece of, well, I guess what you call useless trivia. Read an article, I believe it was the other day. The CEO, I believe his name is Johnson, of TVA. You got any idea what this guy's salary is?
$230,000 a year.
Yeah, but you put the rest of it to it, and he has already accumulated or took in over $5 million in 9 months of this year.
That ain't bad, is it?
Well, he's the highest paid government employee in the United States from what I understand.
Well, that filters its way down through the mix, too.
You reckon? Oh, yeah, but that is the ratepayers and the TPA's, their income or demand, let me put it this way, the demand for their product or electricity has fell by 2% this year.
Do you know who the highest paid hookup like that, a government official or pseudo-government official or something in Campbell County is?
I do.
I'm not sure, I didn't understand the question.
You know who's the highest paid public official in Campbell County?
I do if I could just stop and think about it.
Well, I ain't gonna tell you, but you went to school with him. And it's not the mayor either.
No, it's not.
But we'll let that go. He ain't bothering me, so I
He's
ain't.
not exactly in the county government, he's
No.
in one of the governments that's
Yeah,
in the
one
county.
of the governments in the county, and he ain't bothered me, so I ain't gonna say more about it.
Right.
Well, what this, if somebody can explain to me though, how it is that the president can take the law of the land and exempt anyone from it that he so chooses, then any other law of the land, he could do the same thing. He
Of
can
course.
exempt anyone he wants to from any law.
What he's doing, he's pardoning them people.
Okay.
Ray Blanton done pretty good pardoning people for a while.
He did. Whenever Clinton left office, I don't think they said he even slept for the last 24 hours that he was in office, assigning pardons.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the regular Joe Blow out here. He was signing pardons for people that were in other countries
Yeah.
and everything else. And the people that were receiving these were for high dollar stuff.
Yeah, Betty.
And that might account, well, it accounts for a lot of things whenever you,
You never know, he may have to run again. You gotta get that money built up.
yeah, or somebody. Jim, I appreciate you.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanna ask you something. Fella told me you could explain it to me.
Oh, my goodness.
These here UFOs we're seeing all the time, how come they can't run with their lights off? I mean, if you can go all the way across the universe and do all them wonderful things and just defy gravity and the laws of physics, why do you have to have a light to see where you're going?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a whole lot of things out there that are beyond my explanation or understanding. And I guarantee you that there's a lot of people who disagree with me. I don't buy this thing about the Kennedy assassination. You got to be kind of naive to accept that one person, whatever. You can just take a look at this guy Oswald, and you can tell he's not the cut for whatever. I mean, he may have been involved, but there's a whole lot more to it. But I'd like for somebody to explain to me on that lunar module, the one that we saw that landed on the moon within 6 months of the deadline. How did they land that thing? They had to land it with rocket propulsion on all 4 legs to set that thing down. How did they set it down and then that guy get off of there and step in dust 2 inches deep and took a picture of his footprint?
Well,
Somebody needs to explain that to
if you,
me. How that you can float, you can set anything down and it still be dust left there.
well, here's the thing about it. If you had 4 feet of dust, they didn't blow it all off. They just cleaned it off a little.
Well, if there's 4 foot of dust, how is it that the dust is all still around there within so many feet of where they're putting that flag in? They're all making footsteps in it and whatever else. You just take an air hose and stick it down against a dirty floor with let's say 100 pounds of air pressure, and it'll take every speck of dust up. It'll blow it out.
Yeah, but you're talking about where there's an atmosphere. There wasn't no atmosphere up there.
Well, if there's no atmosphere, it's still, if you've got thrust, whatever's underneath there, if it's lighter than the item you're setting down and you've got thrust, you're gonna move that dust.
Well, I know, but see, they had 4 feet, and after they set it down, they just had 2 inches left. You don't understand these things.
Yeah, right on. Hey, all that dust that went straight up, if there was no atmosphere and it come straight down, how would they not be dust all
Well,
over?
he didn't go come down. It blowed off into the in the outer space. It's still a circle, and every now and then we get it here. The Perseids, we see all them there falling stars. That's that moon dust.
Well, I'm not gonna say that we didn't put somebody on the moon. All I'm saying is the picture that they showed us, there's a whole lot of explanation needs to be done about that thing. To us old dummies out here that can't figure out where the wind blows and whatever. But let me ask you another thing, something to think about. You take President Lincoln made his Gettysburg Address. President Kennedy made that same statement, not what your country can do for you, but what you can do.
He's told that from Khalil Gibran.
All right, now, I know a lot of old redneck farmers out here that have said some real good things that are simple, but nobody pays any attention to. Now, does it boil down to who's saying it?
Yeah, of course it does. When Bob here talks, it's like whenever, who was that there, stockbroker, when he talked, everybody listened.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like Bob. Words of wisdom.
Gentlemen, I've lost you.
Well, you ain't lost that, don't worry about it.
Anyhow, I've been thinking to a certain extent, it's not so much what someone says as who's saying it. Because there's a lot of people out here that's got some good quotes and whatever, but they don't mean nothing because it's who is saying it. But if someone of a position of authority makes this same statement, then it carries weight. But yet it's the same words, word for word, the same letters and everything, but it depends on who makes the statement rather than what the statement is.
And I found out I can learn a lot if I get around people that know something and they say something, I listen.
There you go.
Like that fella that told me about them there UFOs.
Yeah.
He also figured out how to stop up the BP oil well, but, you know, that didn't do no good. They done found somebody else.
Well, that BP oil tank solution, it took a little doing, but I think that engineer there, sitting there beside of Bob, figured it out, how to take care of that.
Yeah, buddy.
Gentlemen, maybe we can get some comments on some of this.
We ain't gonna have many because we're about ready to leave.
Well,
Right.
it enlightened, I learned something. Thank you, gentlemen.
See you.
later.
See ya.